Hey, Cece here for Scrapbooks on Trial. Welcome to another Tutorial Tuesday. Today I'm working on another wooden piece by KaiserCraft. This one is called a mini cupboard and it measures 5 by 4.5 by 6 1/4. And I will be using the Curiosity collection by KaiserCraft. So as in my previous project, I'm going to do a pre-assembling of the piece just so I know where I'm going. And to my surprise, this little unit was a little bit more trickier than the first one that I did. So I know this is the front of my cabinet because there are 2 holes to accommodate the doors. So I will be taking each of the swinging doors and place that notch here inside the hole of the bottom piece. Next, I'm going to take the top piece and I will align the holes with the notches in my door. Now that I have the top, the bottom, and the 2 doors in place, I'm going to put in the side panels, and obviously this notch here will be aligned with the back of the panel because there's another piece going to the back. So you want the nice straight edge showing on the front, and there is a tab here that will insert into the notch of the top, and this notch here will match up with the tab of your bottom piece. So I'm going to first place, and I'm holding the unit together as much as I can. I'm going to place that tab right here and put in the notch at the bottom inside that groove. So I'll show you what it looks like so far. And I'm trying to hold the piece together with my hand, with my other hand, while I'm doing this, just so I don't lose the swinging doors. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. This tab here goes into the top notch and the bottom notch goes into, or the tab goes into this notch here at the bottom. So we have the front done. Now all we need to do is take the back piece and simply put that in place right here. And we have most of our unit like this. Now there is another piece that's added to the kit, and that is just for decoration, which you'll add completely at the end, and it'll be glued down. This one doesn't have any notches, so this piece will be glued down right here in the front. So now that I have my little cabinet all pre-assembled, I'll demolish it and we'll go on with the staining. To decorate the mini cupboard, I'm going to use the Curiosity collection by KaiserCraft, and it's got some beautiful oranges and reds and greens and a bit of black, or kind of like a very faded black. And I know I'm going to use distress stains because I was told by Denise that it covers really well. So, and it's quite quick as opposed to painting it. So I thought it would be a good idea to do that. Okay, so I've pulled out my patterns, and this is what I'm going to do. This piece here will be for the 2 doors, and the doors will be facing this way. So I'm going to try and preserve this beautiful bunch of flowers. So it's sort of going to be like this, so the design will follow onto the other door. For the side panels, I think this is going to be perfect for the side panels, and this will be for the bottom and the back, the bottom piece being this one here. So this is going to be, in a sense, right underneath like this, which is going to be nice. For the top, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. I might use some of these beautiful designs. And as you can see, I was swatching the different distress stains that I thought would go with this collection. So I will choose walnut stain here. I've swatched it on the sides of the piece of wood. So this is the black and this is the walnut stain. So I think the walnut stain will be perfect for this piece. So, sorry, right here. So that's what I'm going to do. I just finished staining all my pieces, and as you can see, I stained all the edges. And while I have my stain out, I will cut the finding or the hinge, I'm sorry, with the die. And for this, I'll be using the grunge board by Tim Holtz. So I'm just going to cut a piece to size, and I will be cutting 4 of the hinges. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what it looks like. So there are the hinges. I'm glad I got to use the grunge board. I had forgotten how nice it feels like and how durable this material is. I really, really like it. It's very flexible and it won't break. And that will allow me to go around the corner with this piece without any worries. So while I have these out, I'm going to stain them as well with the walnut stain. And then I'm going to let everything dry and come back to decorate with the paper. And there they are. I've also stained the sides of each of these pieces just because I don't want to see any of that color showing through, especially since we're going to go around the little cabinet and we'll be able to see some of the tops and the bottoms. So I'm going to let this dry thoroughly, and right now I'm going to start covering my pieces. So the first pieces that I'm going to be covering are the doors, and I know that they go like this, and I've isolated this piece of paper from the Rare, the paper that's called Rare from the Curiosity collection, and I know that I want the design to go this way. So I'm going to scooch this one to the side, and I will add some glue here, excluding these little hinges. And for this, I'm going to be gluing with PVA glue. So I have a foam brush and some glue. I'm just going to add the glue all over this piece, rather than adding the glue on the paper. I think it's easier that way. And I'll just be careful when I glue here. I just want to clear the 2 edges. Like this. Actually, where did I do this? Like this. I just want to make sure that my edges are properly aligned, and it looks quite good like that. I'm going to press down. And then I'll bring my mat and using then I'll use an X-Acto knife to cut around it. When you do cutting of that nature, especially on a piece that's not exactly dry, just make sure that your blade is very sharp. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the edge that I see right here. And then I'll be using a little ruler and cut across. So I've already cut a little dent here. So I'm going to align that up and then just make a quick cut like that. And there's the first part of our door. So I'm going to repeat the same process, but in doing that, I'll make sure to join the pattern like this. So if I bring my door like that, obviously I'll start gluing from that corner on. So I'm going to repeat the same thing for that door. Next I want to take a Tim Holtz sanding block and I just want to smooth out the edges on each of the pieces. Once the pieces are sanded, I want to add a bit of distressing with the walnut stain distress ink, and this will go as well around the piece. This is great for hiding also any imperfections you may have. So here are the finished doors. Now obviously I'm going to do the same for the back, and I will repeat all these steps for every single piece, and then I'll come back to assemble the cupboard. All of my pieces have now been covered and stained, and I may have made a small mistake, but it's something that I can easily fix. I should have left this part untouched. Here, I'll show you. Alright, so I wasn't supposed to cut around this. This is the side, and it's going to join up with, here, this way, with the back. And unfortunately, I'm seeing this tab right here at the end. On the other side, it doesn't really matter because you've got one straight line, but here I find it's an eyesore. But originally I was supposed to put this piece here around the corner like that. So I will make it so that it hides most of the tab. Also, I ended up staining some of the pieces inside. For instance, I stained the inside of the cupboard on each side, but for the piece in the back, I ended up covering it with the same paper that it will join with, just for a better look. And also the inside panels of the door are the same color, so you have one unified look when you open the cabinet. And this is the top. I changed my mind also for the paper up top. I used this paper, and I will list all the supplies at the end. And I also stained underneath, not that it really mattered, but I just wanted something more polished. Alright, so now I'm going to start assembling this, but before I do that, I need to put the handles or the pulls for our doors. It's just going to be easier. Now if you remember, I cut 4 of these hinges, but they're overpowering. They're too big. So what I'm going to end up doing is cut them right here at the junction of this part here. And I'm going to preserve only this much. And then I have these little hitch fasteners by Tim Holtz, and I know that you're supposed to screw them with a screw to the back, but obviously I don't want to drill anything through the wood. I don't have the equipment with me anyways, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the glue gun and just glue that on to the piece like so. I'm going to go ahead and cut that first, the other one, and it's kind of cute actually. I like it. So I'm going to put the other one here. So these will be our pulls for the doors. I've lined up my doors, and I'm just going to use a ruler just to mark where at the height that I want the pulls to be, or this part here to be. So I'm just going to remove that piece and use my glue gun. Pop that in place like this. And if they're not exactly in the middle, I can live with that. And I'm going to put some glue again on this piece as well. I may have put a little bit too much. We'll soon find out. I press down, make sure it's in place. Like this. Oops. And now we'll glue the other side as well. There we go. So there's our doors. Cute. All right, and now I'm ready to assemble. So it's easier to start with the top piece upside down and the doors upside down. And that way you can see the holes here. These ones I can see, so it's not a big problem. Okay, let me zoom back. All right, so I got, this is the top, but I'm working in reverse essentially, and then I'll put the bottom piece like this. So now I have something like, looks like that, with the two doors in the front. Just make sure that when you do this, your doors are the right way. Alright, so I've got the top and the bottom with my two doors. I'm going to put some glue on the top of this tab. I'm not going to bother from underneath because it's quite tricky to do. And I'm going to take this guy here and yeah, that's the back. So, and I'm going to put some glue on this tab right there on both sides. And I'm going to put this part in place and line it up with it's not in, like so. I'm going to hold it for a little bit. Now I have some glue spilling from underneath here, but that's underneath the cabinet, so I'm not concerned about that. Okay, and now I'm going to do the same for the other side. So I'll just put some glue on that tab right here. And in that tab as well. That goes inside the slot right here at the bottom. And put it in place. Look at that. Perfect. So I'm going to hold that for a bit. And now I can add my back piece, which is going to go like this. I'm going to put some glue all along these two edges right here because this is going to be touching the inside here. So just to make it more secure, I'm going to do that. I'll do the same on the other side. And let's see, is there anywhere else that I can add, oops, more glue to this thing? Yeah, I can put some on the inside tabs right here. Okay. There we go. Oops. I just want to make sure that I should have put some at the top, but I think once it's set, it's not going to be a big problem. Okay. And now I can add that piece right underneath here. So I'll do that right now. Kind of hoping that you can see all that. It's difficult because it's this is not a flat piece, so sometimes I apologize if the camera is not picking up or not focusing well. Again, if there's some glue spilling from the back, that's not a big problem. I'd rather it's spilling from the back than from the front. So I'm going to add that piece right here, and I'm going to be looking at it from this side, just to make sure that everything's lined up. Love it. It's so sweet. All right, so now I can go ahead and glue this around the cabinet. But before I do that, I'm going to take, let's put this to the side for now. I'm going to take two brads to each of the pieces. And that's just for show. Obviously, I'm not going to drill any holes on the cabinet. If you don't have any brads, another thing you can do is add maybe a dab of liquid pearls just to imitate a brad, or any dimensional paint that you may have would do. I might just have to cut this one out a little bit. So I'm going to start on this side. Now I have no idea how difficult this is going to be. It's an experiment. I'm just concerned about the piece not being flexible enough, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So I guess I need to hold this down pretty hard until it sets. Actually, that wasn't so bad. Ta-da! Nice. I like that. Perfect. All right, I'm going to do the same on the other side. Ta-da! We're done. Oh, I like it. So cute. Look at this. So pretty. So we have our two doors. This one's a little stiff, but the more I open it, the better it'll be. And the sides. And no, my flowers are not upside down. The paper is going every which way, so. And our hinges, the back, the other side, back to the front, and our pretty bird that sits on top. I kind of like my hinges here. I find they're perfect. They're just big enough for that. So, you know, out of this big piece, I was able to have these two little accents, I guess, for the pulls. And then inside, you can put all kinds of stuff in there. I would even try and fit a cute little mini album in there. So that is it for today. I hope that you've enjoyed this. As usual, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and I will see you on Friday.